Welcome, Yasser, to Weekend Investing. We are very happy to see you here and for you to join us on this special chat. This chat is all about discovering the investors of Weekend Investing, what has been their journeys, what have been their learnings. So, welcome to the chat. Let's start with your background, your education, and how you started your journey with the market and how you progressed over time and your initial period and initial phase of your investing. Let's start with that.
Thank you, Mr. Alok, and it's lovely to catch up with you after a long time. So, coming to my background, I'm a computer science engineer now with a investment management certification. My investment journey began like really, you can say like about 15 years back. I was even as a kid. I was always interested in investing. I was always enamored by Wall Street and the movies. Like the first time I was interested in like investing in stocks, that goes way back like 15 years. Like even as a kid, I was always, I've seen the movie Wall Street, seeing Michael Douglas in that movie. So it was always, enamored me, like, as an interest. Like I wanted to, go work in Wall Street and whatnot, and wear the suits, do the bit. Here I am in Dubai. I work for a tech VC fund right now. So that's how my investment journey has led me. I've always been interested into something to do with investments and whatnot. So, but I did my engineering way back in Bangalore, and roughly I started like when I opened my account with ICICI Direct. It was way back in I think 2010, 2011.
You were what age at that point of time?
I would have been 23, 24. It was just after college. We were made to sign some 50, 100 pages just to open a simple account. Asked 100 questions. It's not as easy as plug and play. That was my early days. And, to be honest, I had no clue. I was there, I had opened an account, but if you're just randomly buying some stocks based on your hunch, maybe this looks good. Maybe you'll look for a tip here and there. Not really making. Sometimes you get lucky, you make some money out of it, but sometimes most of the times you're getting beaten by the stock. Coming ahead, I had a mentor, a guy who's been really successful in the stock exchange. So he recommended me a book, How I Made 2 Million by Nicholas Davis. That was like my first, you could say, education in what needs to be done in like investment and trading. And that's how I stumbled upon, I read that. Then I read your Market Wizards. I got to know about these various investors. This was you could say early 2012, 2013. I was reading about it. I was learning about it. Then I realized what I was doing was totally wrong. I was just going on random hunches. I need a sort of like a I need a method. There has to be some method to this.
So, till then, basically, you were throwing darts at individual stocks. So, did you also try your hand at intraday trading or derivatives trading?
I did not intraday trading. I never touched intraday trading, but I tried my hand at derivatives. I tried my hand at commodities. I tried trading oil for a bit. Then you realize, I did small capitals, but I made money. Then I also got wiped out. My capital got wiped out a couple of times, and it sort of gave me a thrill. Come 2017, I saw my big success. I got into like crypto. When I had entered this whole crypto thing, I had read a few books, like I had got to know about the turtle trading techniques. I realized what algo trading was. I realized how to do some trend following, how to read some charts. So that gave me a little more courage to go take those risks. So I was predominantly into like crypto that whole year.
So 2017, if I have to take a snapshot, pretty much all your money was in cryptos, was it?
All of it, almost all of it. Yeah, and I should say I made that first capital in crypto. I eventually.
So 17 December, I remember crypto went exponential.
That's where we all made our money, and we were like, we were feeling like we are rock stars. and be like, I for one, I was smart enough. I realized this is not going to last because this is like a
Okay, great.
buzz. So I removed a lot of my almost all of
Okay.
it. I like cashed up, and I had a large capital sitting.
When you succeed in a particular asset class, you don't leave it, but good that you did.
To be honest, I've not left it. I still dabble in it, but
Mhm.
I
Yeah, yeah.
realized, the most safest place to be is in stocks. And just after 2017 is when I started looking for someone. Like, I was like,
Mm,
I can't manage my money. Like, I need
mm,
someone to, show me the way.
mm.
So I have now by now I've read the total experiment. I realized you needed a systematic
Mm,
trading method. I started searching for trend followers in India because I wanted
mm.
to trade in the Indian market. Again, back in the day, trading in the US stock market was still difficult.
So out of UAE, investing in US market, was it difficult?
No, it was easy. We still didn't have, like, you still needed a proper account, maintain an X
Of
amount of
course. Yeah,
money.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You didn't have like these smaller fintech apps. Now today we have
Mm.
something known as
Now in
Sarva.
our times, yeah.
Yeah, you can buy your fractional shares there.
Yeah,
You still had like bigger bigger brokers having minimum amount of
brokers.
money. You don't have
Yeah, yeah.
those Robin Hood type of, all those came towards 2019, 2020. We got lucky, especially during COVID. So I needed a system for myself, or if I'm trading, if I can find a manager, a fund manager, that would be great. Then I'm looking, right? And any PMS fund, any investment manager, the minimum used to be 50 lakhs, 1 crore,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah,
And I didn't have that money. Like, I didn't have that much capital. So I found like great people, but they don't have a minimum, like they have a minimum buy-in, as you could say.
absolutely.
So not everybody has, a lot of capital to start with, and that's the reason, why people have to go to mutual funds, because that's where, even small capitals can start.
I was searching. I'm like Google searching.
Mm.
So I was looking for algo traders. I was looking for courses around it. I was just trying to upskill myself or find somebody who does this. And lo and behold, I think it was in Jan, I stumbled upon weekendinvesting.com. I had read an article on money control. While I was searching, I
Yes,
found an
yes.
article. So it was, I think it was timing. Sometimes, everything
Mm,
happens. It was made to happen. And
mm.
I just started following you, following the website. I had registered, uh, still a little clueless. And I think a few days after, you had mentioned that you're doing like a roadshow in Dubai. I registered the first thing as quickly as
Mm.
I could. I registered, got a slot with you. I said, I have to meet this man. What I had found was you were one of the few systematic trend followers. You were following the trends in the market, and you were doing it to, like, to common man, if that were the right word. You didn't have an entry point. It was whether it was
Yeah, yeah,
50,000
yeah,
or 50 lakhs. You were welcoming
yeah.
all of them. I'd gone through your website and I've done a lot of research, and I was like, I'd already, doing my bit. And February of 2018, I think, and we met at, if not mistaken, it was a Hyatt. And you had a meeting group. We had a beautiful chat, and I had made my decision. I had, like, I'm going to invest with Weekend Investing. I'm going to invest with this man. I had made my decision, and I remember we were talking about all of this. I was telling you about this whole turtle trading, and I was telling you about
Mm,
my
yes.
crypto. You were asking me, like, hey, what was your experience? I took your opinion on it, and you were like, yeah, it's there, it's good, but be careful, have like small amount of. And I was like, hey, here, I have a X amount I have pulled out from it, and I want to invest with you. So that's uh, that's how I started my journey with weekend
Great,
investing.
great,
I think
great.
March of that year, one of your products, it was a small case and not a small case, a small cap and ultra small cap. There was a
Mm.
new, you could say, um, fund you had started, and I had invested into that.
So, yes, sir, I want to ask you now that you have been in the market since 2015. Beyond equities and cryptos, have you explored real estate? Have you explored gold, for instance, or other asset classes? And what has been the learning that has the markets have given you over this period of time? You've seen 2018 small cap crisis, you've seen 2020 COVID crisis, and we are having a small crisis right now. What has been your learnings through this journey of a decade that you've had so far?
When you read books like Market Wizards, the few common things with most of these, the great guys who have made it out there successfully, they talk about three things. They talk about managing risks, and managing risks happens with getting your position sizing right, having your stop losses, and diversification. You cannot have all your eggs in one basket. So vis-a-vis asset classes, I've not been shy of exploring. Like I've told you, I've tried my bit in commodities. So today, like if you would put, I have I invest a lot in gold as a commodity.
Oh, wow, fantastic.
Yeah, so gold ETFs, I would recommend people to invest in gold ETFs. That's one thing I would always say. uh, and equity, I do like Indian equity, I do US equity. I started experiment with the UAE equity markets as well, because of my proximity here. I opened accounts.
Yeah, yeah.
Another very interesting thing is you have crowdfunding in real estate in Dubai. There are like three players today in the market. So I started investing literally into real estate in Dubai with, like, you could say, 500 dirhams. Yeah, you can invest and you don't need to be a resident at UAE. You can do it being an
Okay.
Indian resident as well. We can talk about that later. You can get into, and you get diversification because they have properties. Every
Yeah,
month they have
yeah.
3-4 properties. I made some good exits. You'll be surprised because I've been investing as early as pre-COVID. So we bought properties. I think one property we made a 60% return in, like, I
Hmm.
think about 2 to 3 years in real estate. So
Excellent,
we
excellent.
I've seen those successes there. I'm trying to buy a small plot in the outskirts of Bangalore currently. So I have diversified into real estate. I feel real estate is a beautiful asset class. Gold, I think, needs to be in an evergreen asset that we should keep buying, 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 and never stop buying. And I've been buying, like, the silver coins, those silver eagles from
Hmm.
US, the physical. Uh,
Very nice to learn that you've spread out your asset allocation across equities, commodities, crypto, real estate, even doing crowdfunding real estate. Very nice to hear this. Within this entire basket, is equity sitting in some corner, 25, 30% kind of allocation or more, if you would like to share?
So the maximum is in equity. I'm trying to
Okay.
keep at least 60% in equity. And when I say equity, it includes my mutual funds. I invest in mutual
Sure.
funds. I invest in ETFs. US and India. Right now, my US exposure is quite small, but I'm planning to increase it more because India has taken a thing. Indian markets since 2020 have been, like, too good. So I was focusing on the Indian markets and trying to squeeze out every bit of profits, which I did. So I'm happy
Excellent.
I took that decision.
So we've had this recent fall, and a lot of people are disturbed about it. Perhaps the youngsters who are seeing the fall for the first time are the most disturbed. So you have seen several falls and several trends. What will be your message to those new investors?
See, it is always been about, the markets have always worked in cycles. So you have your up cycles, you have your down cycles, you have your bear markets, you have your bull markets. I think we were in the longest bull cycle ever, and we are seeing a correction. We are not even seeing a bear market as such. It's a correction because most stocks were overvalued. What I would say to the new investors is, you need to play the long term game. You cannot, just come in and expect huge results, or especially if some most of these guys are used to jumping in on the 2020 wave, making a lot of money and expecting markets to work that way. Whether it is crypto, whether it is US equity, whether it's Indian equity, whether it has been gold, we have seen those flat sideways markets for a really long time, or we have seen markets doing nothing. There was a time, I think, Mr. Alok, you remember, gold was just flat for, I think, 2016.
Yeah. So 2012 to 2018, there was hardly any movement. Yeah, in dollar terms, basically, we went down from 1900 odd to about 1050. So dollar gold price was stagnant for a long period of time. But in rupee terms, we did not have that much stagnation. So 2013, I think we topped in rupee gold, and by 2015 we had bottomed out. So very very small, downward move in gold to sustain for Indian gold buyers.
So we see those we there are points in the market where there are like long sideway movements, or nothing happening, it just gets a little boring, or it's even correcting. So my simple thing is, you need to sit back, hold. You need to play the long term game. This is not a 1 year 2 year game. You need to sit for the long term. You're doing this for the rest of your life.
So what is the plan of action when markets start to come down for you? For instance, if you had planned every 3 months you're going to put some allocation in certain markets, then does it change if the market is coming down, or you just will blindly keep adding money and let the strategy take care of it in the long term?
I see. What I do personally is, because we do systematic. If it has hit our stop loss, we exit. We sit on cash. If the market's in downturn, if the equity, we sit on cash. And then you also realize there are a lot of assets which are making money. So you
Yeah.
still accumulate your cash. You still diversify in other assets. So gold, if the markets are going down, usually the gold is doing well.
So yeah, sir, you are a international investor. You based out of UAE, and you invest in the US also, India also. So what is the mindset of an international investor who is investing in India? What is your sort of expected returns from the market that make you happy? Do you seek, let's say double digit returns will make you happy on your entire portfolio, or do you want higher teens, double digit, that will satisfy your expectations? Where is that international investors' expectation sitting?
See, ideally, if I'm able to get a double digit return year on year, I would be happy, because that's
Mm.
compounding to the best of the ability. If I say have an 80% or 20% CAGR, I would be doubling my money in a few years every
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
And that's what we want. That's what we want to maintain. There's going to be a one good year, because I have my I run a system myself. I run a portfolio. There are like 3 good years. 1 year you're making an 8% loss. That's okay. But overall, if you see your CAGR, you're doing better. You're doing your
Yeah.
digit returns. It is taking care of inflation. It is taking care of the dollar fluctuation. So as long as you're factored in some 8-9% to that, you're doing fine. I say year on year.
Yeah.
So
So actually, what happens is during that bull rally, expectations get reset. So after 2 3 years of bull rally, people start to say 20% is nothing, you know, 20% is no good a return. But then the bear market sort of resets it back.
it's a misconception. I think
Yeah.
some of the new guys should not believe. I think even if you're making 10 to 15%, you're doing fine, as long as you're beating
Absolutely.
uh, as long as you're beating the inflation rate, you're beating
Yeah. Yeah.
the dollar fluctuation, and you're beating your standard. What if I went and put my money in a fixed deposit? If you're beating
Mm.
those,
Mm.
you're doing fine. You're doing better than another asset class, and
Mm.
the most safest asset class. So I would say, as long as you're averaging out, your CAGR is above that, you're doing fine. They will get a for the people who are like started investing last year or this year. Like, because my wife started investing about a year back along with me, so she's not seeing results, so she keeps questioning me, so I know
Yeah.
how it
Yeah.
feels. I
Yeah.
tell her all the time, you need to give it some time. This is just,
Yeah.
you've just come in, you've seen a little bit of the bull rally. You cannot
Hmm.
expect, the returns to
Correct.
be that way.
So, yeah, sir, one question I have is that you are a UAE resident. When you meet family, friends, and colleagues in your office, what is that, that you see in terms of, do people really want to invest in India markets? Are they not able to invest in India markets? Is the process very difficult? Is the cost very high? What is sort of that, the discussion around this topic of UAE Indian NRI investors investing into India?
See, most of them, what I feel is they don't have a clue of how to open an account. It starts with that.
Okay. Yeah.
And because if you're an NRI investor, you need to have an NRE account.
Hmm.
So they have no clue that these funds are like repatriable, and most of it is like your capital is tax free, because whatever money goes in is not taxed. Like if I send like even 1 crore, it's not going to get taxed because it's foreign inward remittance. And I only pay taxes on the profits I make, or on the
Awesome.
capital gains. So the capital gains, and then I'm able to repatriate it back. So there is no information on this. I think there is misinformation as well. Then they don't know who to go to. There's not like an easy app based account opening here. It's not like you click and I have
Hmm.
my account open. They just need to speak to their most of these guys have accounts with most private banks, Indian private banks.
Okay.
They just need to speak
Okay.
to them and ask them to open a trading account for them. An additional PIS account is opened just to trade. There is a specialized. It has no consequence. They just open it for you.
Hmm.
You just need to fund that and trade. It's just plug and play. It's as easy
Okay.
as opening your bank
I've
account.
heard.
So I'm now hearing that some players are offering a complete digital onboarding for NRIs to open accounts. Is that right?
I
I'm not
would
very sure.
I would love to get to know about it, because I
Hmm.
have recommended a lot of people to some of our private banks, and
Okay.
they have been successfully opened it, and it was simple enough. And most of these guys chase you to get your accounts open. They come home if need be. If you're willing to put a 2 lakh deposit, they'll just come home to you to take signatures.
So.
So
So as a global investor, Yasser, what are your thoughts on this? So you can invest in the US markets and have no tax to pay on those profits. Whereas when you invest in the India market, you have to not only pay tax on the Indian profits, but also have to bear the depreciation during that period. So either the returns from the India markets are so good that despite the taxation on the profits, it still sort of beats the returns from the US. Is that sort of the arbitrage or the comparison that you need to make?
So if I'm not mistaken, most of it is tax free. We get our money back. We don't have to pay taxes,
Yeah.
since Dubai doesn't pay taxes. We don't have to like we don't pay taxes as such. India, we pay capital gains taxes. But my thing is, these last 4 5 years, I've made more and much more of what I would have made. So I was happy, and at the same time, US
Yeah.
markets were not doing all that well. Your Teslas, those just few 10 stocks which went up.
Hmm.
Here in India, there was, I think there was a point in time when there were like 30 40 all-time highs daily. Like you didn't know
Yeah. Yeah.
what to, and you were like, what do I buy? Like I'm running out of money, and there's enough. Like I was literally, we were like choosing, like, should I buy this? It is like inky pinky ponky. It was that, and all of them were making money. So
Hmm.
I would say there was a huge. I read an article. There was a huge uproar of like, hey, India is not good, and a lot of the foreign investors are wary about this. One is because of the dollar depreciation. They're like, in
Hmm.
dollar equivalent, we are losing money. But if you
Yeah.
can get your great double digit returns, you're making up for it.
So that was a wonderful episode of the Momentum podcast. I would like to thank our guest immensely for sharing his journey, for sharing his insights and the learnings from the investing world. I also want to thank our viewers who have very lovingly sent a lot of feedback and comments on this show and have said that they are able to gain immensely from the journeys of other investors. So, and if you also would like to be on this show, you are more than welcome. Please write to our team, and we will try to have you on the show as well. Additionally, the past episodes of the Momentum podcast are available as a playlist in the description link below. Please go ahead and enjoy those episodes as well. So it's been a great show, and I hope we can have many more such shows. And I'll see you in the next one. Till then, goodbye.